Mr. Pine's purple house. And there he is with his two ladders. He's on the tall one painting the top of his house. Okay.
To show that at the end.
It was written by Leonard Kessler. He wrote the book and drew the pictures. Purple House Press in Kentucky. Mr. Pine lived on Vine Street in a little white house. And here's his house with a little white house next to it and a little white house after that. A white house is fine, said Mr. Pine, but there are 50 white houses on Vine Street. How can I tell which one is mine? And some smart aleck said they should have house numbers. But there's a row of 50 white houses. He looked up and down the street. I know, said Mr. Pine. I will plant a tree, a little pine tree by my house. Pine tree, Pine's house. See, that's me. That's what I'll do, he said, and that is what he did. And there he is, planting his little pine tree with his shovel that has a purple handle. And there's his doggie watching him. And he watered it. Mr. Gold lived next door to Mr. Pine. What a nice little tree, said Mr. Gold. Mrs. Green lived next door to Mr. Gold. What a pretty tree, said Mrs. Green. And this is Mr. Gold with his purple plaited hat. And there's Mrs. Green.
That is one style and outfit.
With a purple skirt and a hat, pushing her baby in a buggy with a little boy walking along, pointing at the baby.
And they're all wearing purple.
Yes, one way or another. Mrs. Brown lived next door to Mrs. Green. What a very nice tree, said Mrs. Brown. Here's Mrs. Brown. She's got her apron on. She's probably going to cook dinner. The next day, Mr. Pine looked out of his window. He wanted to see his little pine tree. But what did he see? He saw 50 white houses with 50 pine trees planted in the yard. Now, how am I going to tell which one is my house? He says. Oh, no. He looked up and down the street again. I know, said Mr. Pine. I will plant a big bush next to the little pine tree. And it's a lilac bush. Big bush, pine tree, Pine's house. See? That's me. And there's his pretty bush, and it's a lilac with purple flowers, of course. And he did. And then he did this and this. And that shows him digging the hole and putting his tree in. What a pretty bush, said Mr. Gold. Oh, how nice, said Mrs. Green. Very, very pretty, said Mrs. Brown. And there they are in their same clothes. Apparently they never changed their clothes. That's what they had on yesterday. Now they got it on today. Maybe they only have one outfit. Or Mr. Kessler was tired of being creative. The next morning, Mr. Pine looked out of his window. He wanted to see his big bush by his little pine tree. But what did he see? There were 50 white houses all in a line.
All with...
There were 50 little green trees, all of them pine, and next to each was a bush.
A big bush.
A big bush.
So they all still...
A lilac bush.
Copycatters.
Yeah. Oh, no, said Mr. Pine. Oh, no. All the houses still look the same. Mr. Pine thought and thought. I know, said Mr. Pine. I'll paint my house. He thought and thought some more. There he is sitting in his canvas chair, thinking and thinking, with a dog sitting at his feet. Thinking. I will paint my house, he says. Thinking.
Aww.
With his glasses on. We know what happens to his glasses in Mr. Pine's signs, right? Let me see, he said. Red, yellow, orange? No. Blue, green, pink? Let me see. I know. I will paint my house purple.
Yeah!
Yay! Then off he went to get paint to see, and there's the paint store right there. That's Men's Shop. This is Color Corner Paints. That's where he's going.
Did you show the drive-in? Oh, yeah.
Then off he went to get the paint. I want to buy some paint, said Mr. Pine to Mr. Dash. I want to paint my house purple. Purple, said Mr. Dash. Yes, purple, said Mr. Pine. Green is very nice, said Mr. Dash. No, said Mr. Pine. Red is very nice. No, said Mr. Pine. White is very, very nice. No, 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 said Mr. Pine. I want purple paint. And he crosses his arm because he's serious. He's serious.
Show the pictures, Mama. Show the pictures.
Oh, there he goes in the store, and here's Mr. Dash. Tell him all the colors he could use, but he wants purple. Purple paint, said Mr. Dash. Think of that. Well, for your house, you will need 9 big cans of purple paint. I'll need some brushes, too. There's his 9 cans of paint and his brushes. And he also gets sandpaper and caulking and a putty knife and a mixing bowl and a mixer and thinner. All ready to go home and paint his house. Oh, steel wool, too. Sorry about that. Mr. Pine put everything into his truck. Back he went to Vine Street. He put his tall ladder here. He put his little ladder here. There he is, driving home with his paint, and here's his ladders on his house. All ready now, all ready. See, his job is he paints signs. That's why he has ladders in a truck.